Cautious hopes are building for a truce deal in Gaza as Hamas is currently preparing to respond to a new framework proposed by Egyptian mediators. The U.S. has called this deal the most generous Israeli proposal to Hamas. However, in the latest round of warnings, Israel has renewed its response to annihilate Hamas. The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said that the IDF will launch a ground offensive in Rafah with or without a truce with Hamas in Gaza. The new framework proposed to the Hamas militant group calls for the group to release as many as 33 hostages in exchange for a pause in hostilities in Gaza. The latest proposal will reportedly be laid out in two phases. The first phase will focus on the release of 20 to 33 hostages over several weeks. The second phase will gravitate towards the restoration of sustainable calm. In this phase, the remaining hostages, captive Israeli soldiers, and the bodies of hostages will be exchanged for more Palestinian prisoners. Until now, Israel was fixated on the release of 40 hostages in return of a 6-week ceasefire in Gaza. However, after Hamas dropped its offer to fewer than 20 people, Israel has agreed to accept fewer hostages in the first phase of the ceasefire deal. Meanwhile, Washington's top diplomat Anthony Blinken is on his 7th trip to the Middle East since the October 7th attack. Blinken discussed the urgent need to reduce tensions in West Asia as he met with Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Blinken highlighted that the utmost need of the hour is to achieve a ceasefire and that Washington will continue efforts in this regard. He will be visiting Israel on Wednesday.
Hamas has before it a proposal that is extraordinarily generous on the part of Israel. And in this moment, the only thing standing between the people of Gaza and a ceasefire is Hamas. They have to decide, and they have to decide quickly.
U.S. President Joe Biden, during a telephone call with his Egyptian counterpart Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, also discussed the deal to secure the release of hostages together with an immediate ceasefire in Gaza. President Biden confirmed that the U.S., together with Egypt and Qatar, would work to ensure the full implementation of its terms. Amidst the negotiations, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is facing pressure on multiple fronts. Israel is voicing concern that the International Criminal Court could be preparing to issue arrest warrants for government officials on charges related to the conduct of its war against Hamas. Prosecutors from the ICC interviewed staff from Gaza's two biggest hospitals about possible crimes in the Gaza Strip. Netanyahu is also facing pressure from far-right allies to reject a new Gaza ceasefire, jeopardizing his government's ability and stability. Protests against the Gaza war has also picked up pace around the globe. As we mentioned, U.S.'s Columbia University has begun suspending pro-Palestinian activists who refuse to dismantle a tent encampment on its New York City campus. They came after the Ivy League school declared a stalemate in talks seeking to end the polarizing protest. Protesters are demanding a ceasefire in the war with Hamas and the divestment of the university's assets and companies involved with the Israeli military and an end to U.S. military assistance to Israel. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.